We started by asking whether you or your kids are feeling constantly drained, irritable, or you struggle with focus. It might not just be stress, okay? It could well be digital burnout. And we spoke also about a hyper-connected world that we found ourselves in, and that excessive screen time is taking a toll on both children and adults. So in the video that you're a part of now, you have no choice, we are going to uncover the warning signs and share simple ways to reclaim a healthier balance with technology, okay? You do know that you are on the Family Cyber Tips Daily. And on Thursdays, we focus on digital wellness and balance, okay? If you've ever felt mentally drained, struggle to focus, or notice your kids getting moody after too much screen time, you might well be dealing with digital burnout, okay? And we're here to help. Today, we will explore how to spot those signs and take simple steps to regain balance. And I gave a disclaimer. I said that if you don't know it already, I'm not a doctor, okay? So please involve your physicians or doctors at all times, okay? And then we went on to define digital burnout, okay? And that's where I got the ping that you may not be hearing me. My special fan, how did I do? Use the comments and let me know, okay? All right, so digital burnout happens when excessive screen time overwhelms the brain, okay? It leads to stress, fatigue, and reduced focus. It affects both kids and adults and can show up in different ways. And I think I was explaining how it manifests in children. It might look like frequent mood swings or tantrums, trouble sleeping after screen use. We've discussed this on previous bulletins. Reduced interest in offline activities. Your young one is not just interested in any non-digital activity. That's a telltale sign. And then they struggle with focus in school. You get information from teachers that your young one struggles to focus. Those are telltale signs. And since this is a family show, we also know that in adults, it can show up as constant tiredness despite enough sleep, headaches, or eye strain from screen exposure. I hope you're taking notes, because then you can sort of ascertain whether you are in this bracket or not. All right. Feeling anxious when not online. You know, I think it's FOMO, they call it, fear of missing out. Then reduced attention span and motivation. Okay. Those are definitely telltale signs that you're experiencing digital burnout. All right. So we have the adults and the children in the mix. And it's important that we understand that that's key, absolutely key, to note these traits so that you can make a determination. Of course, engage your physician and then do these things that I'm recommending. All right. There are hidden dangers of too much screen time. You know, well, maybe you didn't know. But did you know that studies show that prolonged screen exposure, something I'm repeating again, can cause mental exhaustion, sleep disturbances, and increased stress levels? Social media alone can trigger dopamine. We've spoken about dopamine on the platform. Just search for dopamine and you'll see a video where we've covered this. The social media alone can trigger dopamine addiction, making it harder to disconnect. Okay? If any of these symptoms sound familiar, don't worry. We've got some simple ways to help. All right? So So let's look at how to reduce digital burnout. How can we do it? You will find that throughout these podcasts or episodes of our podcast or show, whatever it is you want to call it, there will be a lot of overlaps and repetitions, and that's deliberate because these are proven and they're facts that are established all over the world. And so when those overlaps happen, don't think I'm missing the point. No, it's because it's part of the package. All right. So how do we reduce digital burnout? The first is obvious. Let's set digital boundaries. Okay. Use screen time limits and tech-free zones in your home. As I mentioned, tech-free zones, some of you who have been following the podcast or show would have known that we had a particular session where we discussed tech-free zones. But use screen time limits on the parental control apps that you have by now installed on your young ones' devices or the devices around the house. And then create tech-free zones in your home. This will help reduce the burnout that we're speaking about today. The second is encourage offline activities. You've got to swap screen time for outdoor play. I don't know how else to unpack this. Books, family activities, these are all non-digital things that you and your family can engage in. And they're offline, And if you have the tech-free zones in your home, it will or should extend to your offline activities. No digital kit or equipment should follow you outdoors when you're playing and reading a book or engaging in a family activity. Okay? The third is something that you may not have known or heard of, and that's to practice the 20-20-20 rule. All right? And it's simply every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. And this will help reduce eye strain. Every 20 minutes, you look 20 feet away. There's a way you can measure it. I'm 6'2", so 3 of me lined up. Just look away that distance for 20 seconds, and it will help reduce eye strain. This research has been done. It's not me. That's why it's called the 20-20-20 rule. All right? All this will help reduce digital burnout, and that's the aim after all, isn't it? Okay, so the next one, our fourth, is use night mode. And you ask, what's night mode? Night mode is a feature that most smartphones have. Once it's a certain time in the evening, should be around 7, when it just gets dark, just turn your phone into night mode. And that just tones down the brightness of your smartphone. And we talk about blue light. That's what is emitted from the smartphone screen or the tablets or the TV. But use night mode, which can be enabled on most devices, and blue light filters. They will help reduce the impact of screens on sleep. Again, you get burnt out if you don't have enough sleep. So turning these features on will help reduce the impact, of screens on a well-earned sleep. Okay? All right, so the last, and certainly not the least, our fifth will be lead by example. I've said this enough times. Parents, you've got to lead by example. Our kids don't have any hope if you are not making changes yourself. They have no chance of surviving the onslaught that awaits them online. We talk generally about scammers and rogues, internet rogues, but now this is self-inflicted, because all they're doing is staying on the screen, and they become burnt. They just get digitally burnt out. And one way to avoid this or reduce this extensively is for you as a parent, a caregiver, to lead by example. So if you the parent cut back on screen time, your kids are more likely to follow. I used an expression, a very old, outmodish expression last time I spoke about this. They're not going to do it today, but just lead by example. And the child now has a hope or a chance to defeat this, okay? A quick challenge while I'm at it. Can you and your family try a tech-free evening next week? Because today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. It might be too short. But next week, choose one day and make it a tech-free evening, okay? And let us know in the comments how you get on or how you got on, depending on when you get back to us. But it would be nice to engage and find those out. I may just suggest, even though my family are a lot older, but can't hurt, okay? Because we're also talking about adults.